Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It is time to go through the Aviation G premiums that are on sale, and at least my top picks, which I would say are worth getting. Now, one of the things I need to mention before we get into this is the simple fact that the pack premiums for Air are way better than the G premiums. So there's a lot of mid-tier G premiums which are quite nice, you know, stuff like the P51s, the P47s, but if you're looking at stuff to kind of grind through the tech tree, you're going to have to wait until the packs come out, which will appear on the 26th. So even though these are my picks for Aviation, understand that the better sales are probably going to come in a week. Now, remember, when it comes to this stuff, you can't always guarantee the things that you want on sale are going to be on sale, but at the same time, it's usually best to wait for this thing. So, let's talk about the first vehicle that is on my list, the Saab 105OE. This is a rank 5, battle rating 8.3 premium, and basically it's very similar to the SK105. Not the SK105, sorry. Oh no, it is the SK105, isn't it? Oh, sorry, the SK60P, but the Saab 105G, which is right here. So, basically, these two are very similar to each other. They used to be quite different because of the secondary armaments, but they gave them custom weapon setups. So this one has rockets, and then the other one in the tech tree has bombs. The major reason you play this, though, is because you get two 30mm and two air-to-air missiles, which are the AIM-9Bs. These are very useful, and means that you can dominate the air. Because you get an air spawn, you can get high, you can attack the enemy, and generally do pretty well. Now, the matchmaking for the Saab is not as good as it used to be, that has to be mentioned, but it is still very good. And you can see here, with the 105G, even after playing it a little bit in ground, we are 73 air kills to 11 deaths, and also with a 71% win rate, showing, at least for me, the power of having that really good air spawn, and then also following it up with the air-to-air armament. I would definitely say this is very good in air realistic, it's also good in ground realistic too, but mainly air realistic is where you'll have a good time with it. The AD4NA is also one of the picks I'd go for. This is just very similar to the standard AD4. There's not really a huge difference apart from some cosmetic stuff on the vehicle. You can see this door here and also some of the areas here, but it functionally in War Thunder is exactly the same as the AD4. So the reason to pick this up, a lot of the French tech tree is very dull, very boring at the low tiers, apart from stuff like the VG33 and the H75. If you can get a vehicle like this, you can grind through it very easily, and also you can do dailies along the way, such as the attacker dailies, and also just kind of the destroy X stuff dailies. It gives you an air spawn, you can get to the battle very quickly. It also has the Gabonese Air Force camouflage that you can actually grind out, which is quite nice, and also gets access to really good 20mm that are fantastic. It also gets access to bombs, rockets, you know, incendiaries, and even a bunch of naval stuff too. And with the Blue Water Fleet come in for France, you can use it there as well. So it's a multi-role vehicle. You can use it to dogfight, you can use it to ground strike, you can use it for pretty much anything that you would want. And that's why this vehicle is very strong and also gets you through those tiers for France, which are generally not very good. Now understand, there is a standard tech tree AD, which you can just play for France, and it's very similar to this, but the idea of picking this thing up is so you can grind to that, and then get to the jets, and then play those, so you skip a lot of the propeller grind. Another vehicle that I always recommend is the Yak-3 VK107. The reason for this is because there is a lot of rank 4 and even rank 5 nowadays of USSR, which isn't very powerful. Rank 3 also does get a little bit dicey. The Soviet machines at rank 1 and 2 are generally very good, especially in arcade, but also in Air RB, but as they go higher, one of the problems that this vehicle kind of solves is a lot of them don't have very powerful engines, which can go very high, so you're forced to mid to low altitude fighting. Now the meta nowadays is pretty much that, but sometimes it's nice to have another option, and that's what the VK107 gives you. This is just a Yak-3 with a better engine. You know, it has the standard 20mm, and it's very good at the air superiority role, and will get you through that part of the tech tree very well. There are also other picks that you could go for, which aren't as strong nowadays, like the Su-11, which went up in BR. The Yak-3 has stayed at its BR, whereas a lot of other Soviet planes like the I-225 and also many others have gone down in BR, because the VK is pretty much the only propeller plane which fits its BR at this level for the Soviets. For Germany, you have the Do-335B2. Now, there is Do-335s in the tech tree, but this one is the heavily armed one compared to them. So this thing gets a airborne in a realistic. It's fantastic for bomber hunting. It's fantastic for secondary support fighting, which makes it really fun. And in ground realistic, it is insanely powerful, especially with the 5.7 lineup. This thing has 3 Mk103 cannons, and if you don't know what the Mk103s are, they are the cannons which have access to the armored targets belts, which are HVAP, meaning that it can pen 77 millimeters and go through pretty much anything you're going to find. It also gets a bomb load of 2 250s and 1 500. All of these drop independently nowadays, so therefore you can get 3 bomb drops off, and if that's not the case, you can at least get 2 bomb drops off, but I'm pretty sure they drop independently. And then on top of that, you just have 2 20mm as well if you need additional firepower too. So this thing has a ridiculous amount of firepower, doesn't turn very well, is pretty good in a straight line speed-wise, but is quite a large target. But just understand, you are bringing this in when you have air superiority, when you want to do a ton of damage to the enemy, and then after, in air realistic, you are using it as a bomber hunter, and then support fighter, and then ground pounder. So that is generally the way it goes with this. This is in a fantastic position at the moment, and it also has kind of a fun esports skin that you can see here if you want to pick that up as well. The Ju-288C is also available. This is just a bomber for the Germans, and it's very easy to play. You basically just, spawn in air realistic, hit a few bases, go back to base, and then repeat. Just do that over and over and over again, and you'll grind out pretty much all the way up to rank 5 Germany without even thinking. And it has access to a 20mm in the back, which is an MG151, incredibly powerful, and also a lot of ammunition on this gun, so you're able to just annihilate anything that gets close to you. You also have some 13mm here, and some down here as well if you need to get people off you. You do also have the DB610, which is basically 2 DB engines smashed together, so this is technically a 4-engined vehicle, even though it only has 2 of them, so that makes it also very powerful in terms of speed and acceleration, and even has some more stuff here. They recently buffed this thing as well, giving it access to 2,500 kilo bombs, which it carries internally, so this obviously is very powerful for ground, and also very powerful in other modes such as naval, if you want to bring them here. The 1800 should be enough to fell bases, but the 2500s make sure that that's the case. You also have some incendiaries and also some other bombs if you want to bring lighter loads for the vehicle, but I feel like that's not really required. The reason why you play this, even though it's kind of dull and kind of boring to do, you go to the base, bomb it, go back, and then just keep doing that over and over again. The other thing you do with the vehicle is just nuke people in ground and naval with the big old bombs, which it can do very efficiently too. Very similar to the Do-217 and also the Grief, such as the Battle Pass one they just added and the standard tech tree one. But this one does the same thing, but with added rewards in RP and also SL. That's what makes it really powerful, and that's what makes it really good. So those are all my picks for aircraft. As I said, there are going to be better ones that come out on packs, especially jets. Most jets in this game are pack vehicles at the moment, apart from stuff like the Rotterdam and the MiG-21S, but I wouldn't recommend them anyway, because they're not in great positions. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.